Air Chief Marshal Arup Raha, welcome to Times Now. It's been a difficult year, and of course you've had 3 years almost. But it's a difficult year. It started with Pathankot, Uri, surgical strike, and now, of course, Nagrota and the change of guard in the army. You're the senior most officer of the armed forces. Is seniority such an issue? Should seniority be the only issue to decide who is going to be our armed forces chief or not?
Well, it's been a norm in the past to have the senior most person appointed as the head of the respective services, be it the Army, Navy or the Air Force. The selection process of senior officers going through so many rungs is very thorough. So anybody who reaches there at the top as 3-star generals, air marshals or admirals, they're all very fit to lead the respective service. So that is the seniority principle. But the other principle is based on merit. That is also good. Both these principles have their own pros and cons, merits and demerits, which everybody knows about. But to my mind, once the decision has been made by the government for somebody to lead a particular service, we should abide by it. After all, they have exercised their minds over the issue, and they have selected from amongst 3 to 4 such senior persons in that service. So to my mind, seniority is an important aspect, merit is also. But since the process of elevation is so stringent and thorough, I think anybody reaching that level would be able to lead the particular service or the armed forces as such.
Would you say it has caused some unhappiness, and perhaps the government should explain why it has done what it has done?
Well, there has been a lot of debate on the issue. A lot of people have written on the subject and spoken on the subject. Well, as I mentioned, there are pros and cons in everything that you do, every decision that you make. And it is a considered decision. So the points of view are very clear. So I don't think there is any need to continue with the debate any further, but definitely clarity on any issue is very important so that there is transparency and people have faith in the system.
And the Chief, remember, is also speaking up on the entire issue of the former Air Chief S.P. Tyagi's involvement, the alleged involvement in the Augusta Westland case. The Air Chief Marshal says that such incidents do dent the reputation, the morale of our forces, but he also hopes that S.P. Tyagi is acquitted of all charges.
Quite right. You have been a scrupulously honest man, and the world knows that. There has been no controversy in these 3 years that you've been chief. But how difficult is it for you to face the fact that one of your predecessors was arrested?
I had mentioned earlier that it is a very sad episode, very unfortunate episode, wherein one of our very, I would say, professional former air chief has been taken into custody. There are accusations against him. It does dent the morale of the people and the forces. We are very professional, and therefore anything like this incident has taken place, would obviously dent the reputation of the service. I'm sure the law of the land will take its course. The evidence that is there will be debated. The process of the court hearings, etc. would start, and the due process of law will finally decide the case. I will be very happy as a member of the Air Force family, a big Air Force family, a former chief, if he could get himself acquitted of the accusations or the charges that has been levied against him as of now.
You served under him. What do you remember of him as a professional and as a person also?
Well, when I was in Jamnagar in Tactics and Air Combat Development Establishment, TAC-D, he was the AOC there. So I have known him from those days. I had interacted with him. He used to be in the unit very often because he was very operationally oriented, professionally very sound. So I have a very high opinion about his professional caliber. And as a person also, I did not feel that he could get involved in such a case.
What have you told your officers and men about this? How have you sort of handled the situation? You said that it would affect morale.
Yes. See, I've spoken to all the commanders, and wherever I go, especially the senior leadership, I interact with them. Since we do not know the entire evidence that has been collected by the investigating agencies, so it will not be right for me to speak on the subject since it is sub judice. But I do tell them that we have to ensure and continue with the kind of thoroughness in implementing the SOPs, thoroughness in terms of due diligence being done in all procurement cases. Fortunately, the Air Force has very well-trained professionals to deal with procurements and acquisition, and all the cases are being dealt with very, very professionally. I've just reiterated that people need to exercise caution. People need to continue with the due diligence that the Air Force has been following in the past, and we are reviewing each and every acquisition project thoroughly so that there is greater oversight.